Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to understand question number 3. The chapter which we are related with is company financial statements. Actually, it's the start, actually, it's a beginning, and we are now starting a new concept, a new chapter for the very first time. This is company financial statement. Actually, it is simple financial statement as well as when we are related with company. So there would be some additional elements involved in making of such financial statement. And those extra and additional elements would be introduced right after. But first, see the shape of your question or the shape of information which is provided to an accountant. Look at here. This is a situation where different elements and factors related to a company would be provided to you. If you are working as an accountant, if you are working for yourself and you are running a small or large company, so you will be having information regarding operations of your business. Plus, possibly you would have some adjustments, and look at here from the start of this paragraph to end of this paragraph, we are getting some adjustments as well. Those who have little understanding with financial statement, there will not be any difficulty for them to understand this new concept. And I am sure if you will be watching this lecture from start to end, even a beginner can also solve financial statement for the company. Now we are going to introduce how we will be performing and how we will be making this financial statement. Here you can see we have several parts. Don't focus what has been written over here because right now it's zoomed out for 50% and we will zoom in for 100% later on. But right now I am letting you know an overall concept and general perception about the performer. And here you can see we have different colors: 1, 2, 3, 4, and last 5. So there are 5 colors involved, and here all colors are in front of you: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right sequence would be first. This place is basically fixed for direct side. That means how much a company had earned profit or faced loss from direct operations. Direct operations means the business which company is doing, how much profit or loss he had gained or faced with effect of those operations, by effect of those operations. And then we have indirect side, where we will be mentioning all expenses which are not directly associated with the business, rather they are indirect, and here we will be calculating a net profit. And this small portion, it's a new element introduced in statement, where we will be creating appropriation side, and final answer of this might be appropriation profit or appropriation loss. And on right side we will be creating balance sheet. There are two sides: first is asset side and secondly the liability side. Please note it down. Answer of this side, that means first direct side, that would be called either gross profit or loss, and this profit would be used to calculate net profit of second side, and this net profit would be used to calculate appropriation profit of third side. And then this appropriation profit would actually be transferred to liability side, and we will add or less in capital. So guys, I'm sure that this brief introduction is enough to let you know what is our target in long term and in short term as well. In short term, we are related with this very simple question where there are not complicated entries involved, very simple, which we have already done in simple financial statements or financial statements for proprietor and partnership business. And here what we will do, we will be involving only one additional element, and that is appropriation side. Here I am going to write few things, and you people are requested to please note what we will be discussing over here. Please note it down. Here you will be writing and mentioning all those expenses which are of capital nature. And what are those expenses? First, dividend. Now please note it down, dividend present in trial balance, dividend present in adjustment, either it is paid dividend or it is internal dividend or it is external dividend. We can pick this. External was going little outside, so let's take it to the downward side, and here you will be putting. Okay, so what we were discussing, all types of dividend present in trial balance, present in adjustment, present as paid, it's internal or external, or if it is payable or if it is paid, it is for half term or mid term, it is for final term or final dividend. No matter whatever the type of dividend, that would be written and recorded in appropriation side. Okay, I'm sure you people have noted the very first thing, which is an expense of capital nature, that would be dividend. The second part which you will note would be all reserves. But what reserves? Reserves which are present in adjustment only, and they are related to liability side. Alright guys, there are two things we have noted it down. All expenses which are of capital nature. There are two types of expenses where we have seen dividend and reserves. On the other hand, when you will be discussing income side of this particular part, what you will be recording. At income side, you will see first of all this net profit, which would be mentioned over here. Then any profit or loss, we may write it in full profit and loss that is present in trial balance. Now two things we have discussed. First, this net profit would be used, and then any profit and loss which is mentioned in trial balance, that would be noted down, and if there is any extra reserve or provision, that would be noted down over here. What does that mean, extra reserve? That means the provision which you have made for a particular expense, the expense is less than that of provision. So we have got an additional provision. That extra provision would be mentioned over here. Alright guys, so these two parts would be considered your income and remaining part would be considered as your expense and you will mention over here. Now note it down. This is capital nature. This portion is directly associated with those elements which are of capital nature. Two incomes we have discussed, profit and loss. If that is income present in trial balance, you will note over here. And if there is any additional reserve, that would be noted down over here. All expenses would be written over here. And finally, you will see the difference. The difference of this income and expense would be mentioned over here. And this difference would be called appropriation balance. And this balance would finally be the part of balance sheet fixed liability. So here please take a screenshot or you can note each and every element discussed over here, because in coming days we will be discussing these elements on daily basis and there will not be any difference. So this was your brief introduction for the start, and obviously we will not be discussing this portion again and again on daily basis since it was the first question. So that is why we have introduced this appropriation side. Remaining everything is as it was in previous chapter of financial statement. So guys, we have two parts here. We have elements regarding operations, and from here at the start to end, these are few adjustments. And you know very well, if elements of trial balance and elements of adjustments both are present in your question, you will be solving adjustment as your first step. So I hope you are ready to start. Let's begin. So here I have told you that adjustment part would be solved as our first step. You are required to prepare trading profit and loss account for the year. Now please note it down. We are not going to prepare account. We are going to prepare statement. I'm sure that you people will be noting it down. We are going to prepare profit and loss statement. All right. And the balance sheet. So there are two things, balance sheet and profit loss statement. The following further information is given: closing stock. And as you know that closing stock is part of cost of goods sold statement, where first you will write opening stock, then you will add purchase, then you will note returns, then you will also subtract closing stock, and this stock is being discussed over here. Amount of this closing stock is mentioned over here, 91500. So here 91500 would be written. Secondly, you know that each adjustment does have two effects, so this closing stock would also be mentioned in balance sheet side. So this is your left side. Right side, closing stock is completed. It means our first adjustment has been noted down. Now next, depreciation to be charged on plant and furniture, and on plant it is 15%. So we'll go to operating expense side, and here we will write depreciation of plant. Now to calculate this depreciation, obviously first we will go to fixed asset side. and there we will mention actual amount of plant as our first step. Here, let's search where plant is written. No, not present over here. Okay, yes, we have got plant and machinery, that is 80,500. That would be written in front of it. Now, as we have seen that plant depreciation rate is 15%. So here we will be calculating, and depreciation, how we will calculate? 80,500 multiplied by 15 divided by 100. 15% was mentioned. How we have taken 80,500? That is amount of plant, and 15% is mentioned in your book. Depreciation has been calculated, and here you can see 15% of plant. The value of plant we have already mentioned 80,500. So depreciation is calculated. Now for its second effect, same depreciation 12075 would be mentioned on indirect side. Look at here. We have calculated this depreciation in this way. 15% was mentioned, and first effect was also present on indirect side. And the same we will be doing for furniture as well. Here amount of furniture is given 17100. So come over here, mention furniture 17100, and now you will be calculating its depreciation, and that depreciation would be calculated upon 17100. Rate is 10%. How we have taken 17100, that is amount of furniture, then multiply by 10 divided by 100, the rate was mentioned in the book. So 1710. Similarly, you will come over here and you will be mentioning depreciation of furniture, amount which we have calculated 1710. From where we have taken this amount? Look at here, 1710, and this is the procedure. How did we calculate it? 1710. So guys, in this way our adjustment is completed. Number 2. And now number 3, outstanding liabilities for wages. Wages are part of direct side. So here we will be introducing direct side over here. First we will mention wages, and since it is outstanding, we will write outstanding, it would be added. How much amount of wages which is outstanding? 5200, mention over here. And secondly, we will go to current liability side, and here outstanding wages would be mentioned. Amount was 5200, which is written over here. Next, salaries. Salaries is part of operating expense. Here you will mention salary, and since it is also outstanding, you will be adding. Let's see how much amount. That is 1200. Mention in front of salaries, and secondly again we will go to current liability, outstanding salaries, and amount of which is 1200. After salaries we have another expense, rent. This is also operating expense. So here we will be mentioning rent. Similarly, we will add outstanding. That outstanding rent is 600. So mention outstanding over here, and absolutely same way you will be writing outstanding rent, amount of which is 600. So guys, in this way you can see that all outstandings are having same effect. We are adding in operating expenses, and second effect is present in liability side. So guys, in this way you can see from here to the last rent we have recorded all the adjustments present over here with their proper dual effects. Dual effect mean one will be in expense side and secondly it would be in balance sheet side. So since adjustments are completed, we can now focus upon upper element. Very first thing is stock. Now we will see whether it is opening stock or closing stock, but you will see closing stock is mentioned in adjustment. There are only two types of stocks, either it is opening or it's closing. So it means it's an opening stock. We will go in cost of goods sold statement. Its place is already reserved, and how much opening stock? 50,000 would be mentioned in front of here. So opening stock is written. After which we have sales. Its place is direct income, and here you will mention sales. Amount of sale is 425,000. So here 425,000 would be mentioned. So guys, after sales we have purchase and its place is already fixed. You can see that amount of purchase is 3 lakh. Write down 3 lakh. Alright. After purchase we have wages. Its place is already fixed. You can see wages, direct side, amount of wages 70,000. So we will be posting 70,000 in front of wages. After wages, we have discount allowed. This is part of other expense. And here you will write discount allowed. Amount of discount allowed is 4,200. Write down amount in front of it. After discount allowed, we have discount received. This is other income. So you will come over here and mention discount received. Amount of discount received is 3150. Put amount in front of it. So guys, after discount, we have insurance, but there is a twist beside it. Insurance up to 31st March. For this, we'll have to see the last date. And here December 93 is the last date, while we have paid it for 94. It means 3 months of next year also involved. And since we have paid insurance up to March, with which what we have concluded, 3 months of next year are excessive payment or prepayment. It is also called prepaid, or it is also called unexpired, and you know it very well. This is part of operating expenses, where you will write insurance first and then you will subtract any sort of prepaid. And how do you know how it's prepaid? Because I have told you that insurance is paid for the next year as well, but just for 3 months. 6720 is the amount. So here 6720, but we will calculate only for 3 months. Multiply by 3 divided by 12. Once again I am telling you Look at here. Amount of insurance was 6720 and we have paid 3 months extra, and that is what we have done. So guys, 6720 was original amount of insurance and we need to take only for 3 months. This would be considered your prepaid, and you will now go to asset side as well, and here you will mention prepaid, and amount of prepaid insurance we have calculated 1680. Write down in front of it. Better to mention that this prepaid is related with insurance. So guys, in this way you can see that we have dual effects, but now you can ask, this was not part of adjustment, then why we have done two effects? For that, please understand, amount which was related to next year was included in it. That is why we will be having its two effects, because that was not supposed to be part of this side. This side is including expenditures, income, asset or liabilities only for December 93. But this was added, but insurance of next year was added in the details of 93. That is why it is having two effects. We have done with insurance. The next amount is salaries, 18,500, and we have its place. Here you will write salary, amount of which is 18,500. So salary is noted it down. After salaries, we have rent of 6,000. Here you will place 6,000 in front of rent. After rent, we have general expenses, part of operating expenses. So here you will mention general expenses, amount of which is 8950. 8950. So then we have profit loss account credit. Alright, now please note it down. This was your appropriation side, and we have said if profit and loss present on trial balance would be noted down over here. So how much profit and loss of previous year? 6220. Here you will write 6220 in appropriation side. Alright guys, now we will go further. Left side is completed. We will be focusing on right side, printing and stationery. This is part of operating expenses. So here we will write printing and stationery. Amount of printing is 2400. So here 2400 in front of printing we have written. Guys, after printing we have advertising expenses, again operational side, and we don't have space as well. Advertising expenses, let's see if we will get even a single additional operating expenses, we will have to create the space. Amount of advertising is 14,300. Okay. After advertising, we have debtors. These are current assets. And here you will mention debtors, amount of which is 38700. After debtors, we have creditors. This is part of current liability. Here you will write creditors, amount of creditors 35200. We have mentioned it in front of creditors in current liabilities. So we are done with creditors, and after that we have plant and machinery. This was already written 80,500 and 80,500. Okay, furniture was also written 17,100. Okay, then we have cash at bank. This is your current asset. We will mention cash at bank. Amount of cash at bank is 139700. Okay, so we have cash at bank that has been done. After which we have general reserve, part of liability side, and this is the place which is fixed. So here you will write general reserve. Amount of general reserve is 25,000. So we will write over here. After general reserve, we have loan from managing director. It may be written in fixed liability or you may write in current liability. Loan from general manager. Why we are writing in current? Because interest is not mentioned. Amount is 15,700 and actually it was general manager or managing director. One of the same thing, but let's write it. So it is managing director. 15,700. After which loan from we have bad debts. Oh, we need to create a space because that was the last thing. So let's pick it and drop to downward side just to create the space, and here we will write bad debts. Amount of bad debts was mentioned as 3200. So here you will write 3200. So guys, you have seen that this was the last amount in upper side. All adjustments were already recorded in statement, and we have also recorded each and every element present in question. It means we are now ready to start our calculations. There were no returns. It means your sales would be considered as net sales. Now let's calculate our first part of cost of goods sold. Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. Returns are not present, so cost of goods sold first part is calculated. There are two direct expenses. We will take their sum. Now final calculation of cost of goods sold. How? We will take first part of cost of goods sold, then you will add sum of direct expenses. Cost of goods sold is calculated. Now we will be having our gross profit. How we will calculate it? Sales and less. This is sum of all the elements related to cost of goods sold. So sales minus cost of goods sold, we will get our final answer, that is our gross profit. And how did we calculate this gross profit? That was difference of cost of goods sold and sales. Let's see what book answer is saying, and look at here, gross profit is 91300. It means 1 out of 5 parts we have solved, answer is matched. Now let's focus for our indirect side, and here depreciation of plant and furniture, they are readjusted, so we will write in second column. Next, we will see salary and then you will add its outstanding, after which rent and add its outstanding. Why we have not written insurance? It means insurance. Oh, insurance was having adjustment as well. So we will have to focus the amount. Please note it down. This is prepaid related to insurance. And there was anything else as well? No? Okay. So it means we will take insurance from here. 6720 was original amount of insurance. And now what we will do, original amount of insurance minus prepaid. Prepaid would be subtracted. It means list of operating expenses ready and you can take sum of all operating expenses to get total. Alright guys, operating expenses completed and we have only one other expense, one other income, and there is no operating income. So you may mention 0 over here. So guys, in this way we are now ready to start our calculation for net profit. For this we will go to gross profit, then you will subtract operating expenses, then you will add operating income which is 0, then you will again subtract other expenses. Look at here, you will be focusing upon heading. Now we will add other income and the amount of other income is 3150 and the value of profit we have got is 16275. This is your net profit. Let's see what book answer is saying. Look at here, net profit 16275 and our answer is also 16275. It means 2 parts out of 5 have been solved. Now let's come to appropriation side. Please note there is nothing element related to appropriation side is present in this question except this profit and loss account. So simply what you will do today only, net profit, and then you were supposed to add, these would be added, plus net profit of previous year, and there was nothing else. So this balance would be transferred to balance sheet. Note it down. This profit would be added. So here you will mention add, and again this extra provision would also be added, and remaining everything would be subtracted but not present in this question. So here why I have writing everything, because you will remember it. These reserves would also be subtracted, although these were not present in our question. So please look at here, no extra provision was present, no dividend was present, no reserve was present in this question. So simply what you will do, net profit and these two items were supposed to be added. Only one item was present, profit loss account, so you have added 1662, added you have got 22495. Now you will go to fixed liability side, and here first you will mention your subscribed and paid up capital or paid up capital, and then you will add net profit. Amount of net profit we have just calculated 22495 and 22495 appropriation balance, and now we will call it appropriation balance. So we have done it, but why capital was not there? Let's see in the question. Nishad and company with an authorized capital of 5 lakh divided 5,000 equity shares on December 2,500 shares were fully called up. So actually we are related with paid up capital, and this is 2,500 called up capital is actually our required capital. That is why I have written subscribed and paid up capital. But please note it down. It is also important to write authorized capital as well. So here we will mention authorized capital. But this authorized capital would not be added anywhere. So 5,000 shares of 100 each. How much would be the amount? Look at here, 5,000 number of shares multiply 100. This would be authorized capital, and we are going to bound it. That means this authorized capital would not be added in liabilities, just for the information. Secondly, you will see that called up capital 2,500 shares. So here we will mention it as well. 2,500 shares multiplied by 100 per share price. So 2,500 number of shares given in the question. Price of one share was 100. In this way, authorized capital is calculated, appropriation balance is calculated. We are now ready to calculate total of fixed liabilities. For that, paid up capital plus appropriation balance. So final fixed liability total is here. You may ask why we are not adding authorized capital. Basically, authorized capital is a nominal account. It may or may be equal to actual capital. This is just the permission nominal account. That is why we are not going to add it. After fixed liability, we will take sum of current liabilities, and that is also completed, and we have one reserve as well, and that is 2,500. So what does that mean? Everything we have written is completed. There were three totals: total of fixed liability, total of current liability, total of reserve. When these three items are added, we have got a sum 355,395. This is the sum of liability side. That means it's a balance sheet answer. Liability side 355,395. Let's see what answer is given in your book. Look, 355,395 is our answer, and that is 100% matched. It means 4 out of 5 parts are completed. We will now be focusing upon asset side. Here, first you can see that we have plant, subtract its depreciation. Then we have furniture, subtract its depreciation. After which, since we have only two assets, we have taken their sum. So this is sum of fixed asset. After which we can calculate sum of all current assets. That has also been noted down. Then we have investment. There is no amount of investment. There were three elements: sum of fixed assets, sum of current assets, and investment. These were three elements, and we have taken the sum 355,395, and balance sheet answer is 355,395. And you have seen your liability side is showing the same. Balance sheet would always be equal. So guys, in this way our question has been completed. I will let you know how much work we have done. Look at here. There were 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4 and this 5. First we have calculated our gross profit in direct side. Then indirect side was started where we have calculated net profit. After which appropriation side where we have calculated appropriation balance. This appropriation balance was transferred in liability side and we have completed our liability side, and then asset side was completed as well. In this way, this much working has been done today. Although it was very simple question and straight question, no complicated adjustment were present, and secondly this new part, no element related to new part was also present. That is why we have taken less time. But I am requesting you to spare at least 1 hour to understand next questions. Now we have completed this question. If you want to understand them fully, I am humbly requesting you to please practice this question for 3-4 times at home. If you will practice, and after practicing if you see anything difficult or you want to understand once more, you can revise the lecture. Otherwise you can share your problem through messages, text, comments, or you can directly meet to share your problem. I will humbly be trying my best to answer quickly. So it's time to end our lecture. Thank you very much for your time, and it's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.